Hello, witches. I am High Priestess Autumn Phoenix. Samhain on October 31st is when witches honor their ancestors. But I have to give a word of warning. If you are going to a cemetery, you have to respect the cemetery. You cannot have picnics, barbecues, birthday celebrations, leaving your Hennessy bottles in the cemetery. You have to respect the graves on either side of your loved one. So, for example, your loved one is buried between two people. You have to respect those two graves. You cannot dump your charcoal bits on the grave. You cannot leave your garbage and litter at the cemetery. Of course, cemetery staff will clean it, but they shouldn't have to. Samhain is when spirit activity is at its highest. It's when that veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest, so it's easier for our ancestors, our pets, ghosts, and of course, evil entities to pass through to haunt you if you violate their graves. It's still a cemetery. A cemetery is sacred ground. A cemetery is holy ground. You have to respect it. It's too easy to say, well, these people are dead anyway. Why does it matter? I just said, Samhain is when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. As witches, we know that death is not the end. If witches thought that death was the end, we would not have Samhain. Witches know that our ancestors are dead in their bodies, but their spirit lives on. You have to show respect when you go to a cemetery. You have to respect the graves on either side of your loved one. Even if your loved one is buried alone with no graves around it, guess what? It's still a cemetery. You still have to respect it. Especially on a night like Samhain, when spirit activity is at its highest. Because really, anything can happen on Samhain. Anything can happen on Halloween. Let's not have anything bad happen to you, though. So this is my warning as a high priestess to those witches and to those non-witches planning a trip to the cemetery.